Good morning and welcome to another Ministry Minute with Pastor T. Look here this morning, I'm talking about God never forgets his promises. I am in the New Living Translation Bible. I am in the book of Exodus, chapter number 2, starting at verse 23, and it reads, Years passed and the king of Egypt died, but the Israelites continued to groan under their burden of slavery. They cried out for help, and their cry rose up to God. God heard their groaning and he remembered his covenant promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He looked down on the people of Israel and knew it was time to act. Amen. Look here, if God has promised you anything, you can rest assured that the promises of God are yes and amen. And you said, but he promised it to me years ago, and I have not seen his promise come to pass. If you still have not seen his promise come to pass, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. But everything happens in God's timing. And right here it says is in the word, he looked down on the people of Israel and knew it was time to act. And so whatever God has promised you, when he promised it to you way back then, you probably couldn't handle it then and there. But now you've matured a little. Now you lived a little bit more life. Now you're ready to handle the promises of God. So on today, please don't think that God has forgotten what he has promised you. Please don't think that God has turned his back on you. He knows what he's promised you. You keep praying. You keep crying out to the Lord. You keep seeking the Lord. And in God's time, he will act on that promise. So don't give up on God because God has not given up on you. Don't turn your back on God because God has not turned his back on you. He's just waiting until his appointed time to let the promise manifest and come to pass in your life. So on today, just remember, God never forgets his promises. Amen. God bless you. I hope you've enjoyed this Ministry Minute. And if it be the Lord's will, I'll be back on Sunday with a preach word. You have yourself a blessed day in the Lord.